We're on. Artists in residencies. Right, okay. First thing I do is contact the school, and the school contacts me, and it can happen either way depending on how busy people are. What I will do then is chat to the coordinator and find out a little bit about what the project is. It's nearly always a circus performance, and it can include something of what the kids are doing themselves, or it can be purely generated by me and what I do with kids when we get there. First thing I ask is how many grades are in the school and what size are those grades, because that helps me then determine the program I want to set for them and what kind of acts I want to do so that I have a fully balanced circus program over the time. And then we discuss the logistics of how the week is going to work. And one of the first things I ask the teacher is to allow a good 10 minutes or so at the beginning of the week that I go to the school, or beginning of the allotted time, 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, however many days it will take depending on the size of the school. I then say I need 10 minutes with the whole school, all assembled there in front of me, and I'll do a little presentation. And in that presentation, my main aim is two aims. One is to show some skills. So I might, for a circus project, of course, I'd juggle and just do some fancy juggling and make it funny. And then make the kids laugh. Do some acts in front of them that make them hysterical and they're just crazy, falling about laughing for about 10 minutes. In that time also, I'd mention to the teachers some of what their role might be in our work together during the week. Telling the kids in the grades, you'll be doing a bit of this, you'll be doing a bit of that, and the big kids, you'll be on stilts and juggling. And then teachers, I want you to document everything that we do. So not everything that we do, but during the week, make sure you get photos or a little bit of film, however, whatever media you now use. A whole lot of people bring iPads these days and take lots of snaps. Sometimes they, for some reason, because of the nature of schools and the inclusive nature of schools now, with all kinds of kids, quite often there is a second adult in a classroom. And that's excellent for me, because that second adult might have a child or another, a child as their charge, and they might then have free hands to be able to do some of those things that I suggest. Then during the week, I'd work with the kids in their grades. Once they'd seen me and they'd had a really good laugh, then they're ready to take in anything I want to do with them. They just eat it up. And being an artist, I also don't have to follow the kind of regimen that a classroom teacher has to follow on their day-to-day working with their children. They need a much tighter rein. They can't allow too much outside behaviours or this creative energy where kids are really just buzzing all around, because A, it would exhaust the teacher, and B, it wouldn't allow in the long term for a productive environment for the kids to learn. But while the artist is there, and because I'm outside the box, I can behave differently and it's acceptable. And I think that's one of the reasons that what I do in schools and what schools want me to do is to get in there and be outside the box and really, bring to life all of those sort of things that the teachers can't do, because they need to control the environment a lot more closely than I need to. Of course, I have my own controls. It's usually a whistle. If I blow the whistle, it's my turn to speak. Simple as that for me. Now, logistics. When I speak to the teacher in the early stages, what I'm really looking to do is to sort out with them what I need, and they can also sort out with me what they might need as well. So it's a little bit of a two-way thing. For instance, things that are discussed: accommodation. Where am I going to stay? If it's a local thing, I can go back home. But often I'm away from home and need digs. And it can be billeting or a motel or comfortable caravan park, but you need somewhere comfortable to stay, so it's something that needs to be sorted out. And it also needs to be budgeted for by the school and pre-arranged. So that's one thing. Now, as far as the school environment's concerned, I'd need to talk to the teachers about what kind of space I need to perform or to do my workshopping in. And for me personally, as a circus teacher, the last thing I would like is a gym to work in where I've got hard wooden floors, a massive cavernous space. It's no good. So when people offer me a gym, I just say, not for me, thank you. And then ask them, what have you got in the way of a multi-purpose room or occasionally a library? Libraries have always got carpeted floors, and quite often they're big, and you can pull all the tables back and the kids stop reading for a week and do circus with me, which they don't mind. Then once having sorted the space out during the week and say, look, I need this because of kids being on their knees, kids being on stilts, or whatever the case may be. High ceilings are also good for if I'm throwing things up in the air as well. We sometimes need high ceilings. But I can always work with children in a different space. If I need to find an alternative space, I'll do that. Sometimes schools have got no space, like the one I was at last week in Portland, had no really useful space. So I went round to the classrooms. And that was, while it was more difficult for me, rather than have children just turn up and bang, next group, it was me having to be shown by one child, where's the next grade, bang, and then I offer